Happy warm Saturday morning here with a quick take on the Barcelona versus Osasuna game. 2-2, tie, and that's where it's at. And the reality is, it's very clear that Barcelona needs to work on chemistry. This team does not have the same chemistry that you would need to have 75% possession with limited opportunities on goal. And that's just the reality. I would say Valverde did make some good changes. There were some sparks of shine out there. And once the game got going, there were some positive. The youngest player of all time scored for Barcelona, Ansu Fati. So there are some positives. But overall, you're left watching this game thinking that there is a lot of work to be done. Not necessarily because the team is playing bad, but because the team does not know how to use the pieces they have. Griezmann is getting wasted up top with his back to goal. He got very little service, very little opportunities. Osasuna had 25% possession during the game, although they created 15 shots, 5 on target, some good solid shots. Barcelona was 75% possession, was only able to get 8 shots on goal, 4 on target. There were some good opportunities, but it's about the build-up, the play, the opportunities, very limited opportunities. And it was clear that Osasuna looked at what is able to limit Barcelona. Last game, Griezmann was held and isolated from the team in the first half, which is the same thing that happened the majority of this game. The defense on Barcelona was caught out of place. They were caught unenthusiastic out there. Whenever I see a slow defense, I try, like I said, try not to be negative. But in the 6th minute, Torres got a ball from the baseline, pulled back, crossed in the air. There were 5 Barcelona players in the center of the box, yet nobody looking behind over their shoulder to see that Torres was wide open for a left-footed inside volley. Started off slow. Defense was off the ball, and then on top of that, the first half, Barcelona was primarily playing up that left side, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Semedo was getting picked on. They were attacking him, stripping him from the ball, and they depend on Jordi Alba to work that left side up. So really, when you're counting on your left fullback to create the majority of the opportunities up the side, you're going to be vulnerable on a counterattack. And that's what Osasuna did. They primarily waited for their counterattack. With the positives, Perez, he did a good job. I mean, he's great at creating opportunities. He's great at creating space. That is a very, very big positive thing. It's great to watch him. But Osasuna, they have organized pressure, and Barcelona creates the most of their opportunities when they're playing around the box, usually from left to right on that 18-yard line in the box. And when they had 3 people attacking all times, 1 person to the ball, 2nd to where the ball's going, and a 3rd in case they cut back, it stopped everything on the line. Griezmann's looking with his back to the goal in the center, and he's not able to create space. He's not able to get service. The first half was abysmal, unfortunately, for Barcelona. It wasn't fun to watch, and it was almost bewildering that they could have that much possession with that little action. But with that being said, second half started. Barcelona and Valverde made some good changes. So initially at halftime, took out Semedo, dropped back Roberto into the right fullback position, and put Ansu Fati in, who pushed up on the left. And that, one great thing that came out of that, as soon as he came in, 50th minute, Perez got the ball, beautiful cross, far post. Ansu Fati was marked by 2 men, jumped up, snacked his neck to the left, cracked it, far post header. It was one of the most gorgeous goals you're going to see. As far as headers are concerned, as far as redirecting the ball, as far as getting it where the keeper cannot get, it was perfect. So now, Ansu Fati is the youngest player ever to score in a Barcelona kit on the number 1 squad. So that is a huge accomplishment from this game. At that point, it's tied 1-1. You're thinking the mojo's coming. You're going to feel it. It's coming back. Then, 63rd minute, Perez again. Service to Artur. He cut back in the box and rips it far post. Great goal. 2-1. Barcelona's finally starting to move the ball around. They're finally starting to get the mojo going. So to be fair, they did turn it around. The problem is this season they've started very slow. They definitely need to work on chemistry, which only comes in time. It only comes in time. But unfortunately, in the 80th minute, PK jumped up to challenge with his outside right foot, one-on-one ball in the air. The ball came back in, and as PK is jumping towards the baseline, the ball kicks him in the right hand. It wasn't intentional, but yes, his hand was not, they say that he was making himself bigger. But we all know if you're jumping outward to stop a ball with your foot, your arm's not going to be tied directly to your body. So it's really impractical for them to say that there's any way that you're making yourself bigger when you're leading in the air. It's ridiculous, but it was a PK. Penalty kick for Perez. He gets his second brace, hits it to the far post, and that is how we came up with a tie. Not to be negative, there are some positive. Valverde made some good changes. Ansu Fati, youngest scorer ever. I feel like they started playing a little bit better in the second half, but we really got to find a way to not to be able to create opportunities close to the 18-yard box. Because right now teams are learning how to stack that box on that line, pressure up with multiple people. And when we need to pressure, we don't need to run to the ball just to be at the ball. We need to collectively attack and steal the ball back. Just my quick take on this. I do think that we're definitely not out of opportunities for Barcelona. We haven't started great. It's not the best 3 games, but that is without Messi and without Suarez. I think that Valverde is trying a few things. I think we have some shining stars. Ansu Fati scored, but his touch was a little off. There were moments where he looked a little out of a little over his head at times. Not to be negative, but there was a delivery that he could have hit to Griezmann that would have been an easy one-touch tap in. Some of his balls placed back were misplaced, either out of bounds or not to the player directly. But with that being said, for 16-year-olds, he's doing great. Perez is definitely taking his opportunity, and Rafinha definitely shrunk under the sun today. Not that he's a bad player, but their chemistry is our number 1 priority moving forward. RIP Chewy.